everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere there are people with money. The job is to find them, and good marketing finds them.
We were almost sued. The way we solve that is with permeable heated pavement.
They're saying, well, the other guy will come do it for $27,000. You're going to throw those in the garbage and you're going to go with me for $60,000.
You now have all the products you need that work together, sold in one platform, packaged to you based on the plans that you provide.
So adding that heating layer into my already planned hardscape project is a $20,000 upgrade, of which $11,000 are materials.
Basically $30 a square foot.
Okay.
And it takes you a day for your team to install it, plus a day for your electrician to hook it up.
You basically created the best scenario possible for someone who wants to get into this.
That's the whole idea.
This episode is brought to you by Hardscaper.com. The Hardscaper mission is to empower industry professionals with the skills, inspiration, and confidence they need to take their businesses to new heights. Permeable pavement is not a trend, and it's not going away. In fact, it's becoming more and more a requirement. Cities, counties, states, provinces, they're all mandating it because stormwater is becoming every property owner's problem. And where there's a problem, there's an opportunity. The contractors who know how to solve that will win the work. The segmental permeable pavement course on hardscaper.com shows you how these systems actually work. On-demand video, a short quiz after each segment, a certificate when you finish. You can use that certificate in your client conversations, and you can use the training to level up your crew. All of this is free, along with a bunch of other courses, so why not get started now at hardscaper.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Hardscape Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Alex from TechnoBlock, and today, very special episode because my guest, Eric Agib from Heethr, is here in studio with us. And this is cool because he brought a bunch of props. So if you're listening to this one, make sure to, if you're listening on Spotify, to turn on the video feed so you can watch that. Or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or somewhere else, hop over to YouTube, particularly later on, and we're going to cover some of the things specific to heated pavement, because that's what we're talking about today. Now, heated pavement is one of the biggest opportunities in the hardscape world that is being untapped. We've been talking about it for a few years. You were on the podcast 2 years ago. Before creating Heethr as snowmelting.ca, which is your hardscape heated pavement specialist company based in Montreal.
Correct.
That you've been operating for the last 10 years. But since then, you know, you were talking about like, it's a great opportunity, but you have to be careful. And there's all these things you got to watch out for. You created Heethr to basically address all those things after having that conversation.
Absolutely.
So that's super cool. Now, before we get into that, you have two viable businesses living in the heated pavement world now. One that does the construction, the design build, and the other one that basically is the products and the systems and the training and the whole kit and caboodle that makes it easy for someone like me who's never done it before for my own company to get started.
Yeah. And I think before we move into that, there's one other key benefit that I think we overlook.
What's that?
And it's the benefit of freedom.
What do you mean?
When homeowners, business owners own a snow melting system, you tap into another mindset where you are not restricted by anything. Just recently, in the last few years, we have seen such an increase of older population being forced out of their homes because they no longer want to manage the risk of entering their property and risk falling and slipping and falling. That aging population is, in this day and age right now, wishing there was a solution to stay at home. So to have that freedom, that they can not be restricted in the wintertime, that they can safely get in and out of their home, having that peace of mind.
They can leave their house in the winter. They can live their life.
Exactly.
Instead of being forced out of it because there's snow, because there's ice, because there's a risk of me falling and breaking my hip. I need to move to a place that doesn't have stairs.
That's it.
Or doesn't have a steep slope going down the driveway. I need to leave my house of the last 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years because I'm old and it snows. That doesn't make any freaking sense.
Exactly. They love their home. They've built memories there.
Yeah.
And they want to live there.
So that's a new trend that you're seeing when you're talking with your clients.
Exactly. It used to be simply like this, and I don't have the time. I just want to get in and out.
Yeah.
A lot of our customers are actually doctors because they actually fit the profile perfectly. They evaluate the risk. They also want to make sure nobody slips and falls. They want the convenience of getting out of their property in the middle of the night, not waiting for anybody. Their time is valuable. So, but now we're seeing this emerging new need, and it's all linked to that peace of mind and freedom.
That's cool. And you know what? I never thought of, like, you can target doctors.
Yeah, very
with
easily.
This product.
Absolutely. Because we've done it, and we know statistically that's who is purchasing these snow melting systems.
So one of the things that that we talked about the last episode we did 2 years ago on this subject was like all of those benefits, all this great stuff. I can only do it if I have the right products and I follow the right process. If I don't follow the steps exactly, I have basically a really expensive collection of cables that are going to overheat and potentially catch fire.
Not only that, but a poorly built snow melting system is actually worse than not having a snow melting system in the first place.
Why is that?
Because when your surface does not melt snow, it's cold outside. Everybody's living the same conditions, and you don't have to manage anything external. But when a snow melting system is failing or poorly performing, it's going to create a more dangerous situation. The nose of your steps are going to develop ice. The surface that you're heating, if it's not heating sufficiently, can also develop ice.
Okay, so it's melting, but
melting,
not drying.
But not enough.
Okay.
So now you're creating a more dangerous situation.
Well,
if you didn't manage the water accurately, if you didn't manage the water properly, you're also creating a problem on neighboring surfaces. I'm not telling you all this to scare you. It's not the idea. I want people to know that if you're going to go at this, don't go at it alone. Like, you have a company that's now become a resource in heated pavement and snow melting systems, who's been there, who's suffered with all of the hurdles that anyone can come across when it comes to snow melting system, to the point that we even developed our own series of products and systems and installation methods to make sure that when you go out there and you sell a job, that you actually deliver on.
So are you like the only company now that provides not only the system, but has like the full, like not just the products, I mean, but like all the products that work together in the system, meaning the cables, the mats, the connections, the panels, the controllers, the app, you have all that, and you have the training, and you have like the step-by-step. I think tell me if I'm wrong, I think you are the only company that has like that full thing.
Yeah.
And is also installing.
Look, there are very reputable companies in the field that sell snow melting products.
Yeah, and I'm not saying to dismiss anybody,
right.
But like,
no,
you have like the full thing. I don't
absolutely.
need to also go to this guy for this part and also go to that guy for that part. You're a one-stop shop.
Yes, and to be fair, they're also, generally speaking, a one-stop shop when it comes to selling products. The difference is that those products are sold to them by other third parties.
Okay.
So they're going to,
not?
In our case, we have a separate division that manufactures the products that we sell through Heethr.
Okay.
And we created those products out of the lack of performance that off-the-shelf products had in the field. So the other companies out there, snow melting and heated pavement represents less than 5% of their business. Their core business,
they're still focused inside.
They're focused in floor, right? Indoors. And that's fine.
Indoors and in floors.
Correct.
You weren't wrong.
Exactly. But we're building a business around snow melting because there's so much more than just selling you the product and then giving you a 30-minute course online to go install it. It's not like that. If it was like that, I wouldn't have run into all the problems that we run into. It's not that simple. What we created is an ecosystem. We created a platform. We didn't just want to hand you the products here, Alex, here's the best heating cable, go for it, and good luck. And there's an installation manual, I suggest you read it. No.
And it's this thick.
We're telling you straight up, here's everything that we have lived in the last 10 years. Here's what not to do, and here's what to do so that you can become not only a successful installer, but offer the best value to your customers.
So this is custom built, purpose built, and that's what you've made. And is that fair as a summary?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And our testing ground has been Montreal, which is Harsh conditions,
Yeah.
freeze and thaw cycles, unpredictability, all of that has been our testing ground for the last 12 years.
So one of the big things, like I said at the start, and like you said with the doctors and everything, is heated pavement allows me to tap into that higher end of the market, right?
Correct.
What does the higher end of the market mean? Why should I be motivated to go into the higher end of the market? Because yeah, the jobs are bigger, they're more expensive, but it's also more complicated, no?
Absolutely. One part of it is that I believe that every hardscaper out there has a creative instinct in them, and they want to create more elaborate projects. They want to see their vision come to life, and they want to add more and more value to their customers. And being into the high-end market allows them more freedom, more playing ground for them to create. Those projects are often more lucrative. But ultimately, the goal for any business out there is to find a way to generate more profit. And that's where heated pavement comes in.
Okay.
If you start selling snow melting systems as a core component within your landscapes, your margins are going to go up drastically because it takes less time. You're solving a real solution, and there's a ton less people installing it. So you have less competition. You can price what you believe is to be fair. And in most cases, you're winning the job.
You said it takes less time. What do you mean it takes less time?
Put it this way. If I'm installing a 600 square foot driveway, it might take my crew from start to finish, let's say a week to do it. One crew, right? Let's say that's generating me $30,000 in revenue for that 600 square foot driveway. I don't even know if that's an accurate representation, but let's just say it is, right? If I was to heat that driveway, I can generate another $30,000, but it only takes me a day to install.
So it's not the work that's taking, okay, I understand. It's more revenue per hour.
Exactly.
Yeah. And more profitable revenue per hour.
Exactly. So now,
because it's niche.
Exactly. So if you added one day to every driveway that you build, you're doubling your income for 15%, 20% more time.
On a 5-day job, adding a day is 20% of that workload.
Exactly.
So I'm adding 20% work to double revenue and whatever the difference on margin is. I guess we'll get into that because I want to dive into what some of the problems are, or that people believe there are with heated pavements.
Absolutely.
And it's what stops contractors from offering it in the first place, right? And I think that's one of the biggest shames. I was talking with a homeowner outside of Toronto who had just had their job done, and they were complaining about the damage caused by the snow removal guy that they got. He scraped like a whole line along the side of the driveway, and we were talking about, why did this happen and what can we do about it? But at the same time, I said, had you ever thought about heating the pavement? Because this isn't that big of an area. I don't remember how we ended up on the topic, but we ended up talking about it, and he didn't even know it existed.
Exactly.
He was like, what do you mean? I'm like your basement, like your kitchen floor or your bathroom floor, like you could have done the same thing outside. It wasn't an option because this was a beautiful house. It wasn't like a massive job, but it was a beautiful project.
Yeah, and he had the means. It's just that the landscape contractor didn't offer the solution, didn't understand their problem to start, didn't offer the solution, or did not even know about the solution himself, or was too scared to propose it.
And I think we're at a point now where a lot of people, the contractors, know about it. Our audience 100% knows about heated pavements. But every time we post something on the Hardscaper page or on the Tackle Block page talking about heated pavements, the comments light up with people, and I wrote them down. I'm not going to say the words because there's a lot of asterisks and other icons I would need to say in there. But basically, they're saying it's just too expensive to do. It's stupid to spend that kind of money in your driveway. There are hundreds of these comments. Right. So why don't we start with that one? Because that's like number one. It's too expensive. This is a waste of your money. Just pay a guy to shovel it. How bad could it be?
Look, I think that's, hate to say, but that's a broke person talking. At the end of the day, that customer you were talking about, the one thing he hates the most is regret.
Yeah.
He wanted to have the solution. It wasn't presented to him. that 30,000 driveway, he would have paid 60K for it if it was heated. He sees value in that because to him, his time is important, peace of mind is important, his freedom is important. So it's about switching the mindset. It's about making sure that customers, that contractors understand that it's not their pocket that they're spending.
Right.
It's not their money. You just have to say, hey, the same way the McDonald's is saying, would you like fries with that? Do you want to heat?
You could say no, yeah.
Do you want to heat the walkway as well? You know? How do you take your garbage out? I open the garage door and then I take it out in the middle of the winter all the way to the street, then I bring it back up. Well, what if I heated you a small path?
Your slippers are full of snow.
What if I heated you a small path, 4 foot wide from the garage to there? And on top of that, that can double as your guests arriving, opening the door to their car, and then walking on that heated path to the garage where it's safe.
That's a compromise right off the bat.
Exactly.
This episode is brought to you by Pave Tool and the Optimus Multi 6, the clamp that has changed paver laying for good. Up to 13 square feet every 45 seconds with a 2-person crew? Are you kidding me? Everyone thinks this is for commercial or municipal work. It's not. The big wins are residential. All you need is a couple hundred square feet to see the difference. Your excavator's already on site. Your crew's pumping out square footage like never before, and that's because the machine does the heavy lifting and does it consistently every single day. Hundreds of contractors have already made the investment. Do not fall behind. Check out the Optimus Multi 6 at pavetool.com.
So there is always a scenario that we can tailor to a customer that is budget conscious.
Yeah.
If the contractor is aware of the ways to do that, they can fill a need that the customers didn't even know was there.
It's a nice way to say, okay, if you're thinking it's too expensive, it's probably too expensive for you, but not necessarily too expensive for your customer. How do you make sure you find the right customer? Like okay, a doctor, great.
Yeah.
But like,
look,
I don't know.
It's
just
everyone.
like, I'm going to put myself in the shoes of the contractor because I totally understand. I'm used to selling jobs. Let's say we take that example of the driveway and we say it's $30,000 just to take the same numbers and we're not confusing anything. I'm spending $30,000. I'm selling my jobs for $30,000. I'm fighting today to get that $30,000. I'm fighting today to get it. They're offering me 29. They're offering me 28. They're saying, well, the other guy will come do it for 27. And then I'm going to come in there. I'm going to say, okay, your $30,000 that you got quoted from everyone else, you're going to throw those in the garbage and you're going to go with me for $60,000.
No, you're talking to the wrong guy to start.
Okay.
So the idea is that the moment you market yourself as a snow melting installer, people who see value in that proposition will reach out to you. Those people recognize that this is most likely a luxury and they're going to spend more money than the average installation. They'll reach out to you and now you're exposed to that customer. But if you're quiet about it, if you're not telling anyone that you've taken the HETHR mastery course and now you have inherited 10 years of experience and you're a specialist all of a sudden, nobody knows. The moment you start marketing yourself as a snow melting installer, the jobs will come. That's what we did. Right? We were Agib Creations.
Yeah.
Which is my family name. Yeah. We created outdoor living spaces.
Yeah. And no offense, that's like every other landscaping company everywhere you go.
Yeah.
It's family name, X verb.
Exactly.
Limited.
Exactly.
Or LLC or whatever. Yeah.
Or sons and brothers.
Yeah.
This. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. For me, it was, let me create something that my family name can live on. Right? But it doesn't specialize me in anything.
Right.
Then one day we installed our first snow melting system.
Yeah.
Out of some previous traumas that I lived in my life. My grandmother slipped and fell. I wanted to find a solution. At school, I was prompted to find a new business idea, this and that. Everything led to me proposing it to one customer the first time.
Uh-huh.
It was a steep slope going down to an underground garage. Let's heat it. The guy was techie, He was like, you know what? Adding 15 grand to this, let's do it. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But I tried. So that was the first opportunity. The moment I did that, winter came, I documented it, filmed it, put it on YouTube. I was like, people are interested. There's a business here. Went online, looked for a domain that made sense and bought snowmelting.ca. And then I thought that was just going to be a temporary thing, but it ended up just being the name that we carried moving forward.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. It's about just identifying the area that you want to specialize in and then be loud about it. And then people will come. And when people come for snow melting, they're coming for high end. And then it opens up a world of possibilities.
Yeah, I don't think anybody looks at an ad for a heated pavement to melt the snow to solve one of the biggest problems or inconveniences they have for 3, 4, 5, 6 months out of the year and says, that's probably going to be a good deal.
No.
They're expecting to pay
exactly.
something.
And maybe they'll run into it and be like, yeah, this is not for me.
Yeah, but that's okay.
That's okay.
They self-filter themselves out,
100%.
which is great. What I like about what you said though, and it's important to think like running a business is not just one thing. I want to sell this product. Great. To sell the product, I need to have the product. I need to know how to bring the product to the customer, deliver it, but I also need to know how to sell it. Before I need to know how to sell it, I need to create demand for it. The creating demand for it is what marketing is. Yes. And if I am not telling people that I have this, then I cannot attract the right type of customer. And then I end up in that scenario that I said, where I'm just selling the wrong thing to the wrong person.
Absolutely.
So they exist. They exist everywhere. Everywhere there are people with money. The job is to find them. And good marketing finds them.
Yes.
Okay. So let's not make it a whole sales and marketing class, because I know we talk about that a lot, because that's what I do for a living. You, on the other hand, are installing these things and you know how much they actually cost. So how much does it cost to put these things in so that we can actually address that concern? And how much does it cost to actually run these things? So let's start first with, what does it cost to add this onto a job? I'm doing a standard, let's say driveway or a walkway. How much am I adding to that job on average?
Okay.
We all know I don't advocate for bidding by the square foot, but we're gonna come up with some numbers so that we can talk ballpark with people.
Yeah. So what I would tell you, let's take the example of a 600 square foot driveway.
Yeah.
Right? So 600 square feet, if you were to purchase the products, the products only will range you 11 grand. Okay?
Okay.
Now, we're going to sell that.
So a little less than $20 a foot.
We're going to sell that job at $20,000.
That component?
That whole component.
Okay. So adding that heating layer into my already planned hardscape project.
Correct.
Is a 22 you said?
$20,000.
$20,000 upgrade, of which $11,000 are materials.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So we basically $30 a square foot.
Okay.
In there, we including the products, the panel, everything included, material wise, and it takes you a day for your team to install it, plus a day for your electrician to hook it up.
Okay. What's the labor involved in that day? And what's the electrician?
So we have here an interesting tool that I'm going to pull up. I'm going to just do a quick screen recording at the same time.
Okay.
If I go to our toolbox, you have a very quick tool where you can enter the square footage of a job and click Get Estimate. And within 5 seconds, I know the total amperage that this job is going to require and the entire cost of the system and the labor that is expected of me to put aside to install the snow melting system. So in this case, I got 12 hours for my electrician, and I got 24 man hours for the snow melting cable installations.
12 hours for the electrician. How many hours?
And 24 hours for your labor.
24 hours. So that 24 hours.
Man hours.
That's 3 guys for the day.
No, that's 24 hours. Yes, sorry, 3 guys for the day. Correct.
Why is my electrician so long?
Because we're factoring in that he's going to bring power from the building connected to the panel. So it's not just a panel going up, putting a few screws and connecting the cable. That he can do in 4 hours. But he needs to also supply the power to the panel itself.
Okay, so what's the workflow look like then? Like it's that day. Okay, it's heated pavement day.
So the way we do it is that we'll do all of the exterior work. We'll excavate, put our base prep, make sure we have the right drainage, install our snow melting system, install the pavers, bring the heating cables into the building.
Okay.
And
the
then,
end there, the
correct, the cold leads.
Okay.
The cold leads,
Cold
we
leads, yeah.
bring them into the building,
Yeah.
and then we schedule an electrician. As long as he shows up before the winter to connect,
You're
we're good.
golden. Okay.
So you can move on to the next job and then just coordinate with him, access to the building, so on and so
Okay.
forth.
That's important. I'm not held up by the guy.
No,
That's
exactly.
fantastic.
You set it up, you go in, you're done, you finish
For
your
once, a sub that's not going to hold up my job.
That's it. You do that, and the only thing is you got to make sure
Yeah.
that you've supplied him with the panel
Mhm.
and the requirements, which we provide to you in a PDF, and then he can do the rest.
So about $30 a foot. That includes my sub?
That includes your sub.
Okay. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be
The more you go up in the square footage, less it's going to cost. But
because the
cost of the panels
electrician
and all that,
is the same 12 hours that it's 100 feet or 1,000 feet,
it's close to, exactly.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the cost of the infrastructure, the panels are fixed.
Yeah.
So we have 3 size panels. One panel to bring you up to 230 square feet.
Uh-huh.
One panel to bring you up to 700.
Okay.
And one panel to bring you up to 1,400. So if you're in the lower range of that, your cost per square foot is going to be high.
Yeah.
If you're on the higher end of that, it's going to be low.
I'm stretching all
You're
my
stretching the
components
fixed
and everything
costs
over more
across.
square footage.
That's it.
Totally makes sense.
Exactly. And then you also want to consider the operating costs.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. And people are like,
Yeah, I hear
why
you.
would I go with an electric? I would, going with a hydronic, like the ones with the pipes and the, what's in those pipes again?
Glycol.
Glycol. Going with the pipes and the glycol, it's going to cost me less to operate.
Yeah.
But I was always told like it's going to cost you a lot more to install it though.
Yeah, and it all depends on the surface.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, there's a whole discussion about glycol versus electric.
Okay.
And I mean, that's a conversation that can take easily 20 minutes on its own. But the goal here is that if you're looking at projects that are in that 700 square foot range and under,
Yeah.
an electric snow melting system is the way to go, for sure. The operating costs are going to be more expensive than running natural gas in most areas. But don't forget that a natural gas system requires maintenance. And that maintenance is going to offset the difference from your increase in operating costs.
Maintenance like what?
So every year, every 2 years, you
Yeah.
have to get a natural gas specialist, a plumbing and heating specialist
Yeah.
to come and do the maintenance on that boiler.
Okay.
That boiler that exhausts the combustion from the natural gas, that boiler needs to be maintained. Those manifolds need to be maintained. They need to look at that system every 2 years or so. You're going to spend $1,000 every 2 years to do that annual maintenance, plus buying parts that you need to buy every single time. So we need to consider that before we make the decision and say that it's more expensive.
So if I have natural gas and it's a massive project,
Go for it.
then go there.
Yeah. Every time you have 3,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet,
Okay.
I would tell you, if you have 1,000 square feet or less, consider electric snow melt. If you have more and you have natural gas, we go the natural gas route.
Okay.
Because the operating costs on that 600 square foot driveway are going to run you, divide that by 1,000 into kilowatts, 21.6 kilowatts. And then in a worst case scenario, it's going to run for 1,000 hours. Okay, this is like the worst winters that we have seen. And then you multiply that by the costs of electricity. So let's take, for example, the average cost in Ontario is 14 cents a kilowatt. $3,024 is what it's going to cost you to run that system 100% automatically in Ontario on the worst winter they have ever seen. They haven't even seen a winter this bad.
$3,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Realistically, I should have done in Ontario 800 hours, but just
Okay. Let's just
worst
say,
case scenario.
All right.
All right. Now, that's what it's going to cost you to operate the snow melting system if you run it with preheating automatically. You don't touch it, it's doing its thing. But you can micromanage this system as well. We have a lot of customers who decide to do that, who will basically run it when they need it. They'll still keep their snow removal service, clean me the snowstorm's done, fire it up for 24 hours, melt off any remaining snow. I don't want any ice on my surface. That crust of ice that we all have,
We all have, no matter who does.
no matter
yeah.
who, it's gone. And then we're back to square one. Clean, heated pavement. The next storm comes, I do the same thing. So some people will work it like that. Other people will do a mix of both.
Yeah.
They'll run it automatically when they're out of the house, and when they're at the house, they're going to run it manually. Maybe they'll bring their operating cost to $2,000.
Okay.
And the
So
guy
like that
doing-
was a worst case scenario.
He'll spend $1,000.
I'm running it
$3,000
full tilt. I have it before the snow, during the snow, after the snow, because I want this dry every single time there's the slightest form of precipitation.
$3,000.
$3,000.
$3,000 per winter.
Okay. And is that true like everywhere? Like I know like,
Look,
in
in-
Canada,
we have-
our energy costs are a little bit less in certain provinces
Correct.
compared to other states.
Look, we got inquiries in Michigan, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, I do the calculations there. They're at 28 cents a kilowatt.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense. It's too much money. They have natural gas. They're running with the natural gas
Yeah.
oil. Okay. But here, where we have electricity at these costs, 11 cents in
So it's
Quebec,
not
14
a
cents.
miracle thing. It's just when you have less than 1,000 square feet, when you have
Under 15 cents a kilowatt.
under 15 cents a kilowatt, this is the way to go.
Yeah. And a northern climate that people have a serious issue. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Okay, so let's take like 2 seconds because I want to hit this other stuff that we have here because like your cables, like you mentioned, some of your stuff is specially made for the needs that you have very clearly identified with all your experience doing this.
Yeah.
So I want to look at what the difference really is since we have the cameras and everything.
So it's important because, like we said before, installing a snow melting system is great. Having
Yeah.
a snow melting system is great. But if it's poorly installed or has the wrong products, it can go wrong. And the reason I'm saying that is because when we created these products,
Yeah.
we created them from the problem that we lived. And the main one, when it comes to the heating cables, is drainage.
Okay.
Drainage was a crucial component that was overlooked.
Because I'm melting the snow and melting the ice and creating a bunch of water and it needs
Yes.
to go somewhere.
Exactly.
And in winter, it's tougher to send it somewhere.
Yeah,
All
because
right?
everywhere else is frozen around you.
Yeah, okay.
So we do not want people to worry about making sure that the linear drains have enough capacity, that they're maintained. And some people don't even put them in the first place. So we have to be very careful about that. We were almost sued because we installed a linear drain and it was poorly maintained and we were on a multi-slope surface and the water skipped right over it. Ended up on a neighboring property lower and froze there.
This is a problem.
It's obviously a problem, but it happens all the time. The way we solve that is with permeable heated pavement. The issue with permeable heated pavement, Alex, is that, and we learned this the hard way, because there's not a single installation manual on the market that you'll read and that will say that a heating cable can tolerate the bedding layer of a permeable heating cable.
Right. They all say it has to be in sand.
Sorry, the bedding layer of a permeable paving system.
Yeah. Can be acceptable.
It can be in
'cause it's-
sand, it can be in concrete, it
Yeah.
can be in stone dust even if you do that.
Yeah. Because the cable cannot be exposed to air.
That's it. If you have know anything about snow embedment, snow melting cables,
Yeah.
its worst enemy is air. Okay?
Why?
The reason is that a heating cable works by transferring the heat it emits to the material around it. When it's exposed to air, it doesn't have
There's
a
no
material to
transfer.
transfer.
So it just overheats itself.
When you look at the 2.5 millimeter stone, the
Okay.
number 9 stone, right?
That'd be like number 8s, number 9s.
When we
Number
use
89s. Any of those is pretty much the same thing you're dealing with.
when we use this material
Yeah.
in the ground, in the bedding layer, and you put this heating cable in it, there's 40%
much.
void space here. That void space
It's too much air.
does this to the heating cable. Okay?
So basically that protective coating
Yeah.
gets completely overheated, melts away, and now my
The heating cable
interior
is
is
exposed
exposed,
to corrosion, and then it
it's
breaks, and then it eventually turns into this, and now you have a nightmare.
yeah.
Now, this was never a problem before because nobody tried to do permeable heated pavement.
Right. They were just sticking that in the sand bedding
Sand,
layer.
exactly.
I'm done.
It's
But
just-
I need to send the water somewhere, and that becomes its own problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, we adventured with this.
Yeah.
We tried at small scale, and we didn't run into problems. We ran into problems when we did bigger projects, when we had more of them in the field and
There's
time
just
went
more
by.
of it at risk. There's
Exactly.
more to risk.
And then this is what we lived.
Okay.
So we knew we couldn't compromise the permeability. We
Right.
needed to have 2.5 millimeter stone in the
The
joints.
permeability was solving that drainage problem too well
Yes.
to say like, no, we're going to just go send it to a drain.
So we need this in the bedding layer.
Yeah.
You need a product that can withstand that bedding layer.
Yeah.
So this is the Eco Melt heating cable, which is one of the products that we created on the market that is designed to live within that permeable environment.
So it has, I mean, it's purple, so that's one thing, but like it feels very similar. It feels thicker.
Yeah, this heating cable might be less flexible than the other ones, but because of the jacket that it has around it, it's built out of Teflon. It has the ability to withstand higher temperatures and can withstand that bedding layer environment. So when you use this heating cable, you don't run into these problems.
Yeah.
And now you've solved your heating and your drainage on every single square foot of that entrance.
And that's
walkway,
the system basically that you teach.
Yes. Yeah. We work with this everywhere where we're not sending the water towards the building.
Everywhere where you're not sending the water
towards the building.
Okay.
So if we're sending...
When would you send the water towards the building?
If we have a slope towards the building, like an underground garage, then I'm going to most likely be impermeable, and I'm going to put it into a drain, a linear drain, and then it's going to drain into the building's system, right?
Yeah, but otherwise, when you're sending the water somewhere else, there's too much risk of it going to a neighboring property, into the street, sidewalk, whatever. That solves that.
And because this heating cable lives inside of that bedding layer, it lives in every other
it's just
bedding layer, concrete, sand, stone dust, whatever, it doesn't matter. It'll live in it, no problem.
It's a very robust option.
Exactly.
And this is an example of it on the mat. And one of the things that you guys do, and you have this on the website, is basically like I put the plans of my job in. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I put the plans of my job in, and I highlight the area that is to be heated. And then you guys not only do the takeoff of everything that I need, but you also send me the mats where I'm just basically unrolling the mats following your plan.
Correct.
I'm not figuring this whole thing of spiking or taking zip ties and tying this thing to a geogrid or something. Like it's ready to go.
You can unroll it directly from the mesh, or if you have an application that is like a circular shape or you're doing staircases, you can also purchase the heating cable like this, which is on a spool. And you have the heating cable.
Staircases is cool because if I heat that walkway, even if you do that compromised version that you did, right?
Yeah.
There's that 4 foot for the garbage cans and for the people coming from the street, for the mailman, for the Amazon guy, for my guests who park in the street and come up, all that. The steps, this I can still tuck in under the caps.
Exactly.
And all that. And you guys would provide me with the right amount of cable, and it would be ended with the right lengths and all that.
And if you have a walkway on the top and on the bottom and a couple steps in between, you can always remove the cable from the mesh, do your stairs, and then go back to the mesh.
Just keep going. Yeah, we did that on the showcase project. So if people listening, if you go to hardscaper.com, you can watch your showcase, and you see us doing that in the video. Where we cut it and we're kind of rotating the cable to keep going.
Alex, the other thing that's key about this is that there's 2 things actually. When we're melting snow, in order to prevent water runoff, 1, having adequate drainage is important, but 2, heating and melting as the snow falls is also very important. Imagine you have
it's a gradual thing.
Exactly. Imagine you have a dump 12 inches of snow, one shot, boom. Yeah. And now you flick on your system, you're going to create water runoff.
Under the snow.
Underneath.
Yeah.
That's going to create water runoff. Traditional controllers, such as this one, I mean, nothing wrong with it. It's a great controller. It's been on the market forever, and there's other ones just like it.
Yeah.
These controllers...
They get confused?
No.
No?
They're only reacting. They're reacting to the snow falling on a local sensor. So when the snow hits, it turns on the system.
So if I get a major snow, I get a foot all at once, and then it's heating and I'm melting just a little bit, I get like this air pocket between
and you just
the layer of snow, and then this thing just shuts off. That's what you're saying?
Not only does it shut off, no, it's going to it can do that. That has happened.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that if the ground is, if it's -10 outside, it'll take 12 hours before you get to +2 on ground temperature.
Okay.
That whole time, it's snowing on you. and you're not
It's
actually
just building
melting.
and building and
You're
building
building
and
and building and building. The moment, that's why a lot of people who have traditional systems,
That's why it ends up costing an arm and I like to run it.
and they only see the effects of the snow melting system at the end of the storm.
Okay.
But if you use
You're going to where your system doesn't have that problem.
a preheating controller,
Okay.
this guy anticipates when the snow is going to turn on. When the snow is going to fall.
How does it anticipate? You've told me this before, but I never asked you. How does it actually anticipate?
So this is the only controller on the market that has a preheating algorithm. It's connected to a weather server
Okay.
and the algorithm. When there is a prediction that is expected to be real, this system calculates based on how cold it is outside, what is required to heat, how much time is it required to get to melting temperature. Based on that, turns on the system in advance. The moment it starts snowing, the ground is warm enough to melt snow. And this is guaranteed by their no snow accumulation guarantee. Okay? Now, the reason I'm talking about this now is because one, it's one of the products that we created, but two, it helps with the drainage as well. Because as you are melting the snow, it's draining gradually.
Which is much easier for anything to manage,
Exactly.
whether it's permeable or not.
Exactly. So we work these two together
Yeah.
to get the best outcome for drainage. Also, this heating cable was designed to cover more square footage with less electricity. This heating cable is spaced out at 5 inches. It's at 36 watts per square foot. If you look at anybody selling heating cables in our northern climate, they're selling it to you at 45 or 50 watts a square foot.
Just too much. Or more than necessary.
More than necessary because they don't have the preheating controller.
Yeah.
When you give it the inertia that it needs and you preheat the ground, you need less electricity to heat the whole surface, which is clutch because in our case, one of the constraints that we have in snow melting is having enough electricity to build the project to start with.
Right.
So this consumes.
Right. If I don't have that output from my house, it's a non-starter.
I'd have to spend a lot more money
Just to upgrade the electrical panel, and then
So this makes a big difference. This is going to take up 30% less electricity than traditional systems. So it allows us to install more projects in the ground and serve more customers ultimately at the end of the day. So these are all things that we lived throughout that decade of working and creating products and finding solutions.
it'd be nice if the system worked like this and you just made it.
Well, because actually we didn't make it at first. I actually called those companies and I said, bro, all your controller needs to do is turn on in advance. Can you figure that out? Like, no, we're not interested in that right now. Maybe in the future. 2 years go by and I'm hassling other manufacturers and nothing happens. I just spoke to a few people and said, this is what I want to do. Is it possible? I said, yeah, it's possible. It took 8 years, but we made it happen.
You made it. Now you're the only one that has that?
Correct.
Crazy.
And it's not
you
complicated.
gave them 10 years heads up.
Yes, literally. I swear to God, I called them and I told them what I needed because you're calling them to say, I want to buy a snow melting system. They're telling you, here's the product, go for it. Is it going to work very well? Yeah, it's going to work very well. No problem. I install it. My customer spends 50 grand installing it. And now it's not performing in the wintertime.
No, and you lose your shirt. Even if they warranty the whole system, there's no way you're making back the profit going back and ripping it out and redoing it and whatever.
But even just from the fact of their expectations.
Yeah.
You're telling them it's going to work.
The trust, all that.
They've invested all that money. And then at the end of it, they're seeing it work 50% of the time.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to the drainage side, that was another story. Our customers were, I can't tell you how grateful we were to have those types of people that were so patient with us because we couldn't repair. We rebuilt a ton of systems. They were patient. They gave us the ability to do it. You know, we did one project every year or 2 projects in 1 year. We couldn't do it all in one shot. You're talking about ripping up 6,000 square feet every year.
Yeah.
It's going to take us a month to build, no revenue in that time, on top of it, spending on product again and again. So it was tough. But I don't want anybody to live through that again. You now have all the products you need that work together, sold in one platform, packaged to you, for you, based on the plans that you provide, the platform.
So, okay. Obviously, it's a very technical subject, so we can go on for forever. But at the end of the day, I think we got the gist of what the opportunity that exists is. You shared quite a few. I mean, I see you're still worked up about those repairs. So like, it's very clear that like it is complicated, if you're trying to figure it out on your own, because it's complex. And if it's complex, meaning there's a lot of moving parts to it, and you don't have a guide, you're going to make mistakes no matter how hard you try, no matter how meticulous you are.
Yeah.
So that's why having a system that's been made to basically simplify your life, to have the training that makes it easier for you and your team to adopt it, that has made products that are more robust and less prone to the issues, even when you do everything perfectly compared to others on the market. And everything is basically purpose designed and purpose built for this specific application.
Correct.
You basically created the best scenario possible for someone who wants to get into this.
That's the whole idea.
Now, Heethr is the name, and we talked about how it's like a whole package, a whole system, everything. But where do I, like, what do you want people to do with this information now? Like, they're listening to, okay, it seems like I can make this work. I'm curious. I want to learn more because I want to start offering heated pavement. I see the upside, and I understand in my market, it snows a lot. There's a lot of ice. No one's really doing this stuff. I want to be that guy.
Yes.
Now what?
If that's you, you reach out to us. Okay. We have somewhere on this podcast is going to be a link to book a demo.
Got it.
No obligation. You just show up. You take the time with us. Tell us what your problems are. We tell you how we can solve them.
Okay.
Simple as that. The platform is a paying platform. Okay. You're going to spend money to have access to all these systems and have access to all the training and everything that we've done.
Okay.
But it's extremely negligible compared to the value that you're going to get out of it. All right. But you're not obliged to do it. We have some contractors that are hopping on the platform, taking the training, and then hopping back off.
Yeah.
When they have a project that comes their way,
Then
they'll do it, you know? But they'll take that rain day to learn, absorb the information, and start selling. And then when you have the project, you purchase the products and you install them. And we're there. Like, my phone is blowing up with contractors. We're on the platform. Hey, I have a question. Hey, this, that. I have a project. Can you help me with this? And I'm so happy to help them. Like, it's something that I've discovered recently that provides so much joy, is to be able to help them in a way that I can, and they can't find the solution elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you provide value to them. You're providing them support. You're giving them the training, the tools, all the systems that they need to not make mistakes. Today, when I go do service calls, almost never do I have any documentation on the snow melting system when we have to service, replace a sensor, repair something. I have no information, no pictures, no nothing. With the Heethr app, we connect the project essentials that the contractor, the foreman, took on site, logged everything, guarantees their warranty, and now the customer has access to it. And it's dynamic. So they'll see their warranty elapse on the app. They're going to see everything with timestamps, when the guy did it, who did it. Here are the pictures. So that provides a ton more value, not only to the contractor, but also to the end user. So when you talk about which snow melting system do I go out there and get, we have thought of everything that and I'm sure there's more to do, but that we've experienced, we found a solution for it. That's why we call Heethr, that's why we call the Heethr toolbox every tool we wish we had. If somebody was to come to me 12 years ago and tell me, hey, bud, for under $2,000, I'm gonna give you all this, and you won't have to stress about anything, and I'll give you the best products, the training and everything, I'd be like, it's a no-brainer. I'm gonna pay it off in one job.
Because you got burned so much over the last
Alex,
12 years.
Like, literally almost put us under. It's only because we cared so much about this, and our reputation was at stake, that we focused on repairing everything. We wanted to make sure that everybody at the end of it, everything we dealt with right.
Yeah.
But that heartache created an opportunity.
Yeah.
And here we are today. People are reaching out to us asking, what should I use? Where can I get the products? Can I do it like this? Can I do it like that? And you're like, they're coming to you because they know they can trust you. So that's it. You guys have an amazing community here at Hardscaper. If you guys are out there and you need to know that your resource for heated pavement is Heethr. We are your partner. We're there to help you guys. We're there to equip you guys with the right products, the right tools, the systems, so that you guys can be equipped. And the moment you start installing a project, you're successful.
Yes, well said. So the website is heethr.com. So HEETHR.com.
Correct.
And on there, I can see I can see the products. I can see how the system works. I can see the courses that you have, all that stuff.
Yeah, and also on social media. If you find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, whatever, we're there. We're active on it. Also, our snowmelting.ca page too, because we provide a lot of free content as well there too.
Well,
right?
yeah, and
Educational
people can
content.
see like it in action with your company that's doing the installations. So all the step-by-step and all the different stuff that you're doing. If people want to reach out to you directly, they're listening to this and they want to ask you questions. What's the best way to do that?
The best way to do that is to book that demo.
Because they're going to talk with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm taking the demos myself.
okay.
And that way I get to see your face too, right?
Yeah.
So we get to have like an actual one-on-one conversation. We set aside 45 minutes, half an hour, whatever, however long you need. And I hop on the call.
Yeah. Well, that's good too, because it's very personalized. It's not,
absolutely.
you're not talking to some guy that you train to sell stuff on a demo. This is I have questions. Can you answer the questions before I do anything?
100%. That's a priority for us.
Okay. Is there any commitment with that demo, or I just booked the demo?
No commitment at all.
So it's a free demo. What do you got to lose?
No,
you
nothing.
Got 30 minutes.
You
to
got
lose.
30
That's
minutes. You can take it on the, and if you know what, even in the moment, if you want to book a demo right now, you can do that too. Look, you have a time right now. You see there's a slot available. Take it, and then I'll hop on.
Cool. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap up here?
We covered our categories. I can't remember.
You know, I think the one thing I want to emphasize while you're thinking is it's 3 years we're talking about heated pavements at our showcases. Sam, who's standing behind the camera there, was saying like, man, I'm seeing a lot of heated pavements on Instagram lately. And he also does all the content for our Instagram pages. And I think that the proliferation of heated pavements is because we're talking about it. And if just us talking about it at events traveling the country is enough to create this demand where homeowners are sending us DMs and inquiries that where can I get a heated pavement? Can you tell? And I don't sell that stuff. I make blocks. Yeah. That's what I do. And they're asking us so much about it. It's because there's that much demand for it that the market is not tapping into.
Absolutely.
So yeah, is there a heartache? Is it complicated? Can you run into troubles doing this stuff? 100% you can. Can you do it just laying pavers or just building pools? 100% you can. Can you do it building outdoor kitchens? 100% you can. And you were probably resistant to it the first time that you did it. You were scared, you were nervous, there were things you didn't know, and there were mistakes that you made, and you learned over time. And now you're running your business and you're more profitable and more successful. This is just another thing that bolts into what you offer to your customers. And is it complex? Yeah, there's a lot of different parts. Is it hard to actually execute? Not really. It's just follow the steps.
Yeah.
If I can build a custom fire pit, a custom kitchen island, or a custom pool, I can build a heated pavement.
If there's somebody right here telling me that they've gone through 10 years, heartaches, hundreds of thousands in losses, and finally created a solution for all of us to install successfully, why not hop on it?
It's like those guys that say it's stupid to not read. You read a book, you benefit from the 20 years of learning and experience the author has. That's why they wrote the book. So they could put it all together in one easy to digest package. That's what this is.
Yeah, and I know that our community are not strong on reading necessarily.
We made videos.
We created an entire course.
Yeah.
Where you watch a 3-minute segment and you answer a couple questions and you move on. And we're trying to make it interactive. iPads, drawing, sketching, B-roll of our project. So you see the installations, because I know we're hands-on and I know I can't be there with all of you guys doing, one-on-one courses, but it's the best we can do and it's all available to you.
Yeah.
And a point that I wanted to mention earlier. A lot of people are skipping over it. We talked about that. They're either deflecting the question about heated pavement or not even proposing it to their customers, or worse, when the customer is saying, he's saying, I don't know, okay, I find someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I can't tell you how many of the hundreds of calls that I've done with contractors in the last few months. I'm hearing that all the time. I said no to 3 heated driveways last year just because I didn't know. Or I'm deflecting the question, I'm moving on, just I don't want to sound stupid. So I'm like, you don't even need it. You don't even need it, is the guy saying that.
Yeah.
Just because it doesn't want to sound dumb, not be able to answer a question.
So you have nothing to lose. Get on the demo, ask the questions. So you know what you will know a little bit more than what you don't know right now. Yeah. And at least you're in a better position when you're faced with the opportunity.
And the thing it's going to do for your business is going to change. There's this one contractor I met in Toronto. This was his opening line when he came to our booth at the Hardscaper showcase. He says, "I want to be an elephant." I'm like, "What?" He says, "We're in the jungle here, man, and we're all fighting for scraps. But the elephant walks through, everybody bows down to him, and he gets whatever he wants. That's what I want. I want to be the elephant." And I was like, "And what do you think about this?" Like, "Well, I think if I can be snow melting specialist, I can get the jobs that I want." And that's the scenario that I think people need to remember. It's go out there, find your niche, become a specialist at it. And if we can help you get there, great. Go out there, earn more money, and ultimately become a better version of yourself. Offer more value to your customers.
Perfect. Very well said. Okay, Eric, I think we're going to end it there. We'll put the links in the description. So anybody listening, if you didn't write down Heethr.com, I'm saying it again, pretty easy to remember. But you can go there. The link to book the demos is there too. You're going to be talking to Eric directly. And until next time, everyone, work hard, pave harder, and we'll see you next time on the Hardscape Growth Podcast. Thank you. You've been listening to Hardscape Growth, a podcast for hungry professionals who want to grow their businesses and level up. Each episode is all about taking the next step in running your business, so make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on your favorite podcast player. And if you're finding this information to be useful, help others in your position discover us by giving us a star rating and leaving a comment. We'll see you next week.